Everyone, and myself, I am Baburao Kunchala. Yeah, it's a continuation of Indian dance forms, classical dances. So last video we discussed about Bharatanatyam, and before Bharatanatyam we discussed rasas. That means we discussed about 9 rasas and Abhinaya. Abhinaya means expressions, and at the same time here we discussed about bhav, moods, bhangas, natya karanas, right? Almost all, history and mythology of the dance forms. We discussed all basics things about Indian classical dances. And today, already we discussed about Bharatanatyam. Bharatanatyam over. Then continuation, classical and second classical dance, Kuchipudi. So, Kuchipudi, I think in 2014 UPSC asked question on Kuchipudi and Bharatanatyam. Mainly the question framed differences between Kuchipudi and Bharatanatyam. So now here, I will discuss about Kuchipudi dance. This Kuchipudi dance originally performed by a group of actors. Then those group of actors who is moving from village to village. Moving village to village known as Kuselavas. Who is moving village to village. A group of actors moving village to village. They are known as Kuselavas. So finally Kuchipudi name derives from the Andhra village of Kuselapuri or Kuchelapuram. This is in Krishna district. This village in Krishna district, Andhra Pradesh. So Kuchipudi belongs to Andhra Pradesh. Classical dance belongs to Andhra Pradesh. So now here, there is one point here. A starting stage, Kuchipudi dance performed by a group of actors who are going or moving village to village. That group was called Kuselavas. So this dance form became a monopoly of male Brahmins. And it's a monopoly, male Brahmins only. That also, male Brahmins only perform this dance in starting stage. And in starting stage, it's performed in villages, but later it also performed in temples. So like here, if you compare the Bharatanatyam in early stages is performed in temples, but later Bharatanatyam performed in front of the royals and kings. But Kuchipudi is different. Kuchipudi starting it performed in villages, a group of actors, but later it performed in temples also. And particularly this Kuchipudi dance dominated or monopoly of the male Brahmins. Here, this Kuchipudi dance mostly performed based on the epics and Puranas, particularly Bhagavata Purana. It contains different stories of Bhagavad Purana. This Bhagavad Purana became a central theme of this dance form. And the dancers came to be known as Bhagavatulas. When the dancers performed based on the Bhagavad Purana, those dancers called Bhagavatulas. It is a patronage of the Vijayanagara and Golconda rulers. It's very, very important point. Kuchipudi dance patronized by Vijayanagara rulers and Golconda rulers. Then after, what happened after Golconda? And now here after Golconda, then what happened? Britishers, European who came to India and ruled India. But these Britishers who was neglected. But after 20th century, Bala Saraswati and Ragini Devi revived this dance form. Two important persons, Bala Saraswati and Ragini Devi, revived this dance form. The traditional male preserve became popular with female dancers as well. Yeah, now here you can see here, it is also performed with the female dancers. And starting says this dance dominated by male Brahmins, but now here in after 20th century, it is dominated by female dancers as well. Right? It's a group, it's performed with a group of people. I hope now you can understand. So then here Kuchipudi, some features of Kuchipudi dance. Already we discussed some features of Bharatanatyam, and Kuchipudi also some features. Most of the Kuchipudi dance are based on stories of Bhagavad Purana, but have a secular theme. You know, Kuchipudi dance, mostly in Kuchipudi dance, Sringara Rasa. Sringara Rasa dominated in Kuchipudi dance. Sringara Rasa is one of the Navarasa. It is a dance and drama performance. Both you can see it is a dance and drama story also. It is a combination of dance and drama. You know one thing here, the unique or the beauty of the Kuchipudi dance, each principal character introduces itself on the stage with a Daru. D-A-A-R-U, Daru. What is Daru? You may get the doubt. What is Daru? Which is a small composition of dance and song. It is specially designed by a choreographer for each character. It's designed by choreographer for each character. So when the character entered on stage or dais, a stage, then the character introduced by a composition of song and dance. Introduced in a composition of song and dance by actually the song and dance choreographed by choreographer. I mean for each character. You know one thing here, both Lasya and Tandava elements are important. Both Lasya and Tandava existed here. I think already we discussed what is Lasya and Tandava in previous video. So right, a Lasya dance is a feminine form of dance. Tandava dance is a masculine form of dance. But anyway, so if you want to know about Lasya and Tandava, then watch in first video. Then next one here, a group and solo performance. It is performed by group and solo both. It's not only solo, a group and solo performance. Kuchipudi generally accompanied with a Carnatic music. You know one thing here you need to understand, a simple point. You can understand a simple point here. Then South Indian dance mostly performed based on Carnatic music. Whereas North Indian and Central Indian dance is performed based on Hindustani music. Sometimes you can call Drupad music in Central India, North India, Drupad music. So now Kuchipudi dance performed accompanied with a Carnatic music. The beauty of the Carnatic music stick on rules and regulations. You can't add new ragas. And singer doesn't have freedom and liberal. Singer doesn't have freedom to get and to add more ragas and talas to the music. And every singer should follow or sing based on Carnatic music. Based on the rules, Carnatic music rules. So Kuchipudi generally accompanied with the Carnatic music. You know, in Kuchipudi dance there are two major instruments, violin and mridangam, being the principal instruments used in Kuchipudi dance. Right? So then these are some important features. Then you know one more, Manduka Shabdam is one of the unique features in Kuchipudi dance. Manduka Shabdam. This Manduka Shabdam tells the story of your frog. Tell the story of your frog. Manduka means frog. Manduka means frog. It's one of the unique feature. Next one here, Tarangam is very important. If it is possible, put a 5-star mark. Tarangam. The dancers perform with his or her feet on the edges of brass plate and the balancing a pot of water on the head. So listen here, listen carefully. This Tarangam is a unique feature available in Kuchipudi dance only. And Kuchipudi dancers performs with his or her feet on the edges of the brass plate and balancing a pot on her or on the head. I hope you understand. So you cannot see this what we call Tarangam in Bharatanatyam. I think in 2014 UPSC asked this question. So next one is Jalachitra Natyam, also one of the unique feature of the Kuchipudi. This is, in this item, the dancers draw pictures on the floor. The dancers, while dancing here, they draw pictures with his or toys while dancing. That is one of the beauty of the Kuchipudi dance. Yes, here in Kuchipudi dance you can see, then first one is Tarangam and second one is Jalachitra Natyam, unique features. Then Manduka Shabdam, first one is Manduka Shabdam, Tarangam, Jalachitra Natyam. This Tarangam and Jalachitra Natyam is very important. These are the unique features of Kuchipudi dance. Next one here, Kathakali. Next, the important thing here, Kathakali. So, origin state of Kathakali, Kerala. In the temples of Kerala, two forms of a dance or drama, dance drama, that is Ramanattam and Krishnattam, evolved under the patronage of feudal lords, narrating episodes from Ramayana and Mahabharata. You know, Kathakali dance mostly performed based on Ramayana and Mahabharata. And you know, it is a combination or confluence of Ramanattam and Krishnattam. Here, Attam means dance. Ramanattam and Krishnattam. You know, here particularly if you observe in Kathakali dance, it is a story. It's a dance and drama. Suppose if you take the Ramayana, it is a Ramayana, the fight between Rama and Ravana, where Rama, we will considering Rama hero and Ravana villain. So that means Ramanattam, a dance performance based on Ramayana between hero and villain. The same thing here if we observe Mahabharata, where you can see the war between Pandavas and Kauravas. Pandavas considered heroes and Kauravas and generally considering villains. So that means here Kathakali is a dance and drama between, actually this contains and heroism and villainism. You know, Kathakali name derived from the words Katha, meaning story and story. What is Katha? Meaning story. And Kali means drama. Kathakali. So now here, so some features of Kathakali. What are the features of Kathakali? It's a grand representation of the eternal conflict between the good and evil. It is between the good and evil. That means hero and villain. Dance performance. So the most of the stories narrated based on the epics and Puranas. How many Puranas are there? 18 Puranas. Then you can see 2 epics in India. Then here you know the beauty of the Kathakali, and it's one of the difficult dance performance. It required lot of practice. Kathakali required lot of practice and hard work, because you cannot perform directly or suddenly. The main reason for this, and if you observe that picture, then where you can see the completely the makeup and decoration, costumes. You know one thing, then here for the makeup and costume, it takes around 24 hours. Then they also perform, it's around 12 to 24 hours dance. And here how they represent, then the dance here, they show representation of the rasas and expressions or movements of eyes, through eyes and eyebrows, through eyes and eyebrows. The representation of the rasas through movements of eyes and eyebrows. There is a minimal use of properties in the Kathakali dance. There minimum use. You cannot see much properties in Kathakali. It's a elaborate, is used for different facial makeup along with headgear characters. A different facial makeups along with headgear. So you know, a different colors they used. If you observe here, you can observe here green color, black color, and here wear red patches beside the nose and lip. So a different colors has a different significance. First one is green color. That green indicates nobility, divinity and virtue. It's a nobility and divinity and virtue. And red patches, if you observe here beside the nose, it indicates royalty. Beside the nose, it indicates royalty. And black color is used to indicate evil and weakness. This black color is used to indicate evil and weakness. Right? You can see here three colors. Green color, which indicates nobility, divinity and virtue. And red patches beside the nose, it indicates royalty. Then black color, which indicates evil and weakness. These are the three colors important features. You know one thing here, this Kathakali dance performed in open air theatres. It performed in open air theatres or temple premises covered with coarse mats. A brass lamp is used for lighting. This is very, very important. A brass lamp is used for lighting. The arrival of dawn accompanied with a continuous sound of drums. Continuous sound of drums when the arrival of dawn. Kathakali symbolizes the elements of sky or ether. What is the symbol of the Kathakali? Sky or ether. So some of the famous proponents, Guru Kunchu Kurup. One person, Guru Kunchu Kurup. And second one, and Gopinath. First one, Guru Kunchu, famous persons, Guru Kunchu Kurup, Gopinath, Rita Gangoli. These are the important persons. Next one is Mohini Attam. Mohini Attam or the dance of enchantress. Mohini Attam is the dance of enchantress. Mohini meaning a beautiful woman and Attam means dance. It is essentially a solo dance that gained prominence under the rulers of Travancore in the present state of Kerala. Right? So you know here Mohiniyattam is a Lasya dance. Peace and love. So say some of the famous proponents here, Sunandana Nair, Madhuri Amma, Jaiprabha Menon. These are some famous proponents. Mohiniyattam. You know features of Mohiniyattam. Mohiniyattam combines the grace and elegance of Bharatanatyam with the vigor of Kathakali. Grace and elegance of Bharatanatyam. You know one thing here, Mohiniyattam generally narrates the story of the feminine dance of Lasya or feminine dance of Vishnu. Feminine dance of Vishnu. You know Mohini Avatar. If you know the story of the Mohini Avatar. When the distributing of Amrita, some conflicts happen. Conflicts happen between demons and gods. When distribution of Amrutam. So at the time Vishnu who came and tried to solve this problem, and here and Vishnu in Mohini avatar, when Vishnu performing dance, Shiva observe and Shiva fall in love with Mohini. Then after that, Ayyappa who was born, that's a different story. But anyway, Mohini is a love and peaceful dance. Actually, it's mainly performed by, narrates the story of the feminine dance of Vishnu. It's the last aspect of dance is dominant in Mohini Attam style. Hence, it is mainly performed by female dancers. I mentioned here Lasya dance performed by Parvati Devi. That's why it's called feminine dance. It's a female dance. One thing here, costumes played very a crucial, important role. Costumes played important role in Mohiniyattam. The costumes mostly here white and white off and off-white being the principal colors. The element of air is symbolized through a Mohiniyattam performance. The element of air is symbolized through Mohiniyattam performance. Next one is Odissi dance. The caves of Kandagiri, Udaygiri provide some of the earliest examples of Odissi dance. Kandagiri and Udaygiri caves. You can see the famous, Jain's caves. Then here, what is the ancient name of Odissi? Kalinga dynasty. The dynasty was ruled by Kharavela, who is the follower of Jainism. And at the time here in ancient name of Odissi and Vadran Nritya. That Vadran Nritya is mentioned in Natya Shastra. Vadran Nritya mentioned in Natya Shastra. It was practiced by the Maharis. In ancient period, it was practiced by the Maharis and patronized by the king Kharavela. Kharavela, who ruled Kalinga dynasty. And he was issued Hathigumpa inscription. He was a follower of Jainism. It's a different story, political history. And he was patronized, this Vadran Nritya patronized by Kharavela. With the advent of Vaishnavism in the region, the Mahari system became defunct. Here, then after, what happened? Vaishnavism invaded. And advent of Vaishnavism and spread into South India and Odisha and Deccan part of India. With the advent of the Vaishnavism, the Mahari system became defunct. Then at the time here, instead, young boys were recruited and dressed as female to continue the art form. Young boys. Right? To continue the art form, young boys were recruited and dressed as female to continue the art form. They came to be known as Gotipuas. It's very important. So now here, features of Odissi. If you observe these pictures, then you can see here, this is called Tribhanga posture. It's a very difficult posture. Tribhanga posture. You can see here, head one side, hip one side, knees bent one side. This is called Tribhanga posture. It is similar to Bharatanatyam in the use of mudras and postures to express emotions. It is similar to Bharatanatyam in the use of mudras and postures to express emotions. This picture here, Tribhanga postures. It is a unique one in its representation of gracefulness, sensuality and beauty. One thing here, the dancers create intricate geometrical shapes and patterns with her body. Dancers create intricate geometrical shapes by using their bodies. Hence it is known as mobile sculpture. Mobile means moving. One thing here, you can observe sculptures on temples and temple walls or gopurams, like example like Tanjavur, Chidambaram, Tiruvannamalai. You can observe so many sculptures on temples. But that sculpture actually carved by a good architect or artist. But that is okay. But what about the human being? How can you form How can you form Tribhanga postures, which is very difficult one? And here human being is moving, living. I mean moving. Human being is moving. So human being perform dance. Okay, right? And here these mobile sculpture. So mobile sculpture mostly you can see in Odissi dance forms. So next one, elements of Odissi. Some elements of Odissi, Mangalacharan or the beginning. You can see in Bharatanatyam, Alarippu. Bharatanatyam started with Alarippu and ended with the Tilana. Here Odissi dance started with Mangalacharan. Mangalacharan or the beginning. That means seeking blessings of God. Next one is Bathu Nritya, a comprising of dance. Here Bathu Nritya means a comprising of dance, a pure dance. Then after Bathu Nritya, Pallavi, which include the facial expression and the representation of the song. Pallavi here, facial expressions. Then here next one, Tarijam is a very, very important in Odissi dance form. Tarijam again consists of pure dance before the conclusion. You know here Odissi dance conclusion items is two types. Then first one here, they conclude this dance performance like a moksha. That means include joyful movements signifying liberation. Moksha, I hope you know moksha, salvation. You know how can you get moksha? Suppose here life cycle, humans life cycle, not only humans and living existing things life cycle, birth and death. Birth, then after birth here what happened? Death, and after death again birth, and after birth again death, then after death again birth. Then this is a cycle. If you break this cycle, if you break this life cycle, then you can get the moksha. How can you break this life cycle? How can you break this life cycle? That means here, if your soul merged with super soul, then you can get moksha. That means Atma and Paramatma, soul and super soul. It's the confluence of soul and super soul. That's called moksha. So if you get moksha, that means here you broke what we call, you break life cycle. So next one here, it is what we call second one here, Trikanda Manjura. Trikanda Manjura is another way of concluding in which the performer takes leave from the gods, the audience and the stage. Is another way of concluding. Next one here, elements of Odissi, it's based on Hindustani music. The dance form symbolize the element of water. The dance form symbolize the element of water. Some important persons in these dance, Odissi dance. First one is Guru Pankaj Charandas. Second one is Guru Kelu Charan Mohapatra, Sonal Mansingh, Aharon Lowen. These 3-4 persons is important person and who dedicated their lives to this Odissi dance. Next one is Manipuri. In the valley of Manipuri, you can see Manipuri dance mostly in the valley of Manipuri. It's a dance of Shiva and Parvati. Starting stage, it's a dance of Shiva and Parvati. It's performed by local Gandharvas. It's very, very important. It's performed by local Gandharvas. The dance gained prominence with the advent of Vaishnavism. Then you know here, Rabindranath Tagore brought back into limelight when he introduced it in Shantiniketan. Rabindranath Tagore helped lot to Manipuri dance forms. He introduced this dance form in Shantiniketan. He brought back this dance form into limelight. Okay, right? So now here, starting stage, it's performed based on the Shiva and Parvati. But now here, then after stage, Manipuri dance dominated by Rasa Leela. Rasa Leela, the love story between Krishna and Radha. So features of Manipuri dance, it emphasizes on devotion and no sensuality. It became devotion. And I mentioned here Rasa Leela, right? Rasa Leela, it's a love story between Krishna and Radha. Complete devotion. Then in Manipuri dance form, limited use of mudras. Limited use of mudras. The dance contains both Lasya and Tandava. This Manipuri dance contains both Lasya and Tandava dance. The important mudra here, Nagabandha mudra, is important posture in Manipuri dance. Nagabandha mudra is a symbol of 8. Nagabandha mudra, 8 symbol. Mudras is like a 8. It's look like 8. Rasa Leela is main theme of Manipuri dance. Composition of Jayadeva and Chandidas are used. And here what we call compositions of Jayadeva composed number of songs. Jayadev, a composed number of songs for this Manipuri dance. Okay, right? Next one, the main instruments here, Pung. The drum is an intricate element. The main instrument, Pung, P-U-N-G, Pung means drum here. The drum is called Pung. It's the main instrument. This is Manipuri dance form. Some important persons in Manipuri, Javi sisters, who dedicated their lives to Manipuri dance. One first person, Nayana, Suvarna, Ranjana and Darshana. Next one, Guru Bipan Singh, also dedicated his life to Manipuri dance. Then one more, Tangata and Sankirtans also influenced by Manipuri dance. Tangata, actually Tangata is martial arts form. Martial dance in Manipuri area, and Sankirtana is a music. These two also influenced by Manipuri dance. So next one, Kathak. Origin from Rasa Leela. Kathak dance is origin from Rasa Leela. Rasa Leela means love story between Krishna and Radha. It is a traditional dance form of UP, Uttar Pradesh. One thing here, Kathak name derived from the Katika, that means storytellers. That means Katika means storytellers. This Kathak dance patronized by Mughal rulers. So that's why we can observe Persian influence on Kathak dance. So that's why here it was influenced by, Kathak dance was influenced by Persian dance. It's also influenced by Persian costumes. This dance also influenced by Persian costumes. A classical style of Kathak was revived by Lady Leela Soki in the 20th century. Is very, very important. Remember that. Lady Leela Soke. Then here later this dance came into light because of Leela Soke, who worked in this dance form. So next one, futures of Kathak. Kathak is the development of different gharanas. Gharanas here, it's a music types, a different gharanas in different areas. Lucknow Gharana, Jaipur Gharana, a different gharanas. And Raigarh Gharana, Banaras Gharana, and Drupad, it's actually here Drupad based on the Drupad music. Or in Hindustani music you can see number of gharanas. So it is based on Hindustani music. There are some gharanas like Lucknow, Jaipur, Raigarh, Banaras. Kathak dance form performed by the use of intricate footworks. The use of intricate footworks. That is the one thing here. Some of the elements of Kathak dance. First element here, Anand. Is Anand here actually introductory item to the dancers enter the stage? You know, if you observe Bharatanatyam, where you can see here Alarippu is a starting when he or she entered on stage, the dance started with Alarippu. But here in Kathak, Anand. Kathak dance started with Anand. Next one is important here, Todas and Tukdas are small piece of fast rhythm dance. Todas and Tukdas. Then here, the one more point here, Jugal Bandi is very, very important. Jugal Bandi is the main attraction of Kathak, which shows competitive play between the dancer and tabla player. Jugal Bandi is actually, Jugal Bandi shows a competitive play between the dancer and tabla player. Next one here, Padant is a complicated bowls and demonstrate them. Complicated one. Next one is Tarna, is similar to Tilana. What is Tilana? In Bharatanatyam, ended with the Tilana. It's a concluding dance. Same thing here, Tarna. In Kathak dance here, Tarna is a concluding dance. Okay, right? Next one is Kramalaya, concluding piece comprising of intricate and fast footwork. Here one more here, Ghat Bhav is a dance without any music or chanting. Ghat Bhav is very, very important. Is a dance, Ghat Bhav is a dance. Ghat Bhav is a dance without any music or chanting. Kathak is generally accompanied with Drupad music. Kathak is generally accompanied with Drupad music. Tumri and Ghazals were also introduced by Mughals. That is very, very important. Drupad music also introduced by Mughals. Tumris and Ghazals also introduced by the Mughals. Famous persons in Kathak dance, Kathak dancers, Biru Maharaj, Lachu Maharaj, Sitara Devi, Damayanti Joshi. These are some important persons and who dedicate their lives to Kathak dance. Next one is Satriya. This dance introduced by the Vaishnava saint Shankara Deva in 15th century, Assam. Satriya dance is introduced by the Vaishnava saint Shankara Deva in 15th century. You know, Satriya name derived from Vaishnava monasteries known as Sataras. The name here derived, Satriya name derived from the Vaishnava monasteries. Those monasteries known as Sataras. It is also finds in Natya Shastra. Satriya also, you can see, Satriya also mentioned in Natya Shastra. Ancient one. It is inspired by Bhakti movement. Satriya dance is inspired by Bhakti movement. Some features of Satriya. It is an amalgamation of various dance forms in Assam. Like here, mainly Vajapali and Devadasi. Two dance forms in Assam, that is Vajapali and Devadasi. Satriya dance is an amalgamation of two dances, Vajapali and Devadasi. You know one thing here, devotional aspects of dance and narrates mythological stories of Vishnu. It's a Vishnu completely, you can see Satriya dance is dominated what we call by Vishnu monasteries. Actually it's performed Vishnu monasteries, right? So you know one thing here, Satriya dance also includes Nritya, Natya. Already we discussed what is Nritya, and what is Natya in first video. It is performed by group by male monks known as Bokots. It is performed in group by male monks known as Bokots, Bhokots. One more thing, major some major instruments used in this dance form, that is kol, cymbals. Kol means drum, cymbals means manjira, and flute also one of the major instruments. Here Shankaradeva was composed some songs here. Those songs known as Borgeets, Borgeets, Borgeets. Shankaradeva was composed some songs. One thing here is strictly followed rules. Satriya dance strictly followed the rules, like here hand gestures and footworks. You cannot what we call overcome. You cannot overcome. You have to follow the strict rules of Satriya. Costumes is different. They use dhoti and paguri, their costumes. In modern time, Satriya dance evolved in two separate streams. That is the Gyam, Bainar Nach, Karmar Nach. Second one is the Gyam, Bainar Nach and Karmar Nach. And modern days, Satriya dance evolved in two separate streams. One is Gyan Bainar Nach and Karmar Nach. Ankiya Nach, a type of Satriya, it involves play or musical drama. A type of Satriya, it involves play or musical drama. So, finally here, already we discussed all classical dances, a conclusion of classical dance forms. Till now here Sangeet Natak Academy has recognized 8 classical dances. Sangeet Natak Academy recognized 8 classical dances, whereas Ministry of Culture has recognized 9 classical dance forms, including Chow dance. Ministry of Culture has recognized 9 classical dance forms, including Chow dance. So, according to Sangeet Natak Academy, 8 classical dances, and according to Ministry of Culture, 9 classical dances. Remember, right? So, finally, we completed classical dances. Then here, mostly these dance forms helps to crack prelims exam and as well as mains exam, UPSC. Okay, right? Okay, thank you very much.